Hello, white through blue belts. How's your day today? Hopefully it's going amazingly because mine sure is. Today we're going to be going through slips and pop and weaves and blocking and covering and all of that stuff. So today we're basically talking about how not to get punched. Now before we get started with all of that, let's do one quick bow. Face me, Chariot, Kunye, Addies. So like I said at the start of class today, we're going to be avoiding punches. So instead of throwing them, we're going to talk about how you can not get hit by them. Now, when somebody punches you, you got 4 different things you can do. You can avoid, you can block, you can absorb, and then you can get hit. Now, out of those 4, which one do you like to do the most, and which one do you want to avoid at all costs? Okay, I'll let you answer. So again, avoid, absorb, block, get hit. Which one of those do you not want to do, and which one of those do you want to do? Well, you want to avoid a punch, right? Because if you never get punched, can you lose a fight? No. Can you lose a boxing match if your opponent never hits you? No. Avoiding is your best strategy, but as you'll find out, it's a lot harder to do than just not getting hit, right? Now, the final thing that you don't want to do is get hit. Now, there are tactical ways that you guys can get hit. You can trade blows. There's other things that you can do where getting hit isn't the end of the world. But at the end of the day, if you can avoid and not get hit, that's what you're going to want to do. Today we're going to be talking about more absorbing and avoiding. Now, blocking is something that we do quite a bit in Taekwondo, right? We got our low blocks, we got our outside blocks, we got our high blocks. And blocks work really well when you're faster or stronger than your opponent. If you can see that punch coming in from a mile away and you're able to block it beforehand, you can do a heavy strike, you can hurt their arm, and you can counter quite efficiently. The problem with that is a lot of times when we start to get into more precarious situations, blocking is difficult. And we won't always fight an opponent that is both lighter and slower than us. That's why learning how to avoid a punch, avoid kicks, learning how to absorb punch and absorb kicks is important. Although today we're focusing more on a kickboxing element, Taekwondo has strategies for both of these things as well. We don't always just block. If you've seen a sparring match before, you know that to be true. So with that being said, let's get started. Step back into your guarding stance, Aya. Let's do a couple of punches to start off today, but we're not going to be focusing on technique all too much. Let's start with our straight punches. Our jab cross, jab with our front hand, cross with our back. Let's do it about, what's a random number? 7 times. 7 times. So hop up and down. When I say go, I want you to do a jab cross. Ready? Go. Aya! Go. Aya! Go. Aya! Go. Aya! Go. Aya! Go. Aya! Nice. Now let's do a jab cross hook. This hook being the wide punch. Twist your shoulder, rotate your body. Ready? Go! Aya! 1. Go! Aya! 2. Go! Aya! 3. Go! 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 Alright, now let's move on to one more final combo. This could be a weird one for maybe some green belts or even some white belts that have not worked on it. We are going to go hook, 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 hook. So 4 hooks. We're using our back hook. It's like our front hook, except we're throwing it with our back hand. Okay, so 4 hooks on my go. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 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 Chariot, Kunye. And you throw those punches first so you can see what these punches look like. So how would you avoid a straight punch or jabs or crosses? Well, there's a couple different ways. One of the easiest ways to avoid a punch is leaning backwards. Right? If they can't reach you, they can't hit you. But there's a problem with this. If you punch somebody and you misjudge their range and you lean backwards, you're going to get hit, and it will be a fairly nasty hit. 2, leaning backwards can often set you off when you're defending yourself, right? If somebody's attacking me from this way, and I lean backwards, and then they keep charging me, I can't defend myself anymore. So if you guys are ever gonna lean backwards from a punch, get away, make sure you have a solid stance, make sure you bend on your back leg, make sure you can punch. But also, if you can avoid it, try to avoid it. Being close to your opponent is often the better scenario, so you're able to counter easily and you're able to keep your stance even better. We may not always do that. Sometimes a person may catch us off guard and we're forced to lean back, but if you can slip properly, slip properly. And trying to avoid a straight punch backwards is generally a bad idea too. So go to your guarding stance. So, how to slip properly. Somebody's punching you square in the nose with a jab. You're always going to want to move your head to the side. Now I'm going to move 3 parts of my body. My knees, my hips, my shoulder, and, a little bit of my head too. So as I do this, I'm going to twist my shoulders, bend my knees, and move my hips with it. Real fast, freeze. Just move your head from side to side, your head and shoulders. If I try to just slip this way, I'm going to have a bit of a problem. 1, I have no weight behind my punches if I do want to punch. But 2, sometimes people are fast and they aim a bit to the side, they'll be able to hit me strong. Now, move just your knees. There's a problem with this too, although this is fairly close. If I'm here, I may not be able to slip fast enough, meaning they're going to punch me before I'm able to get my head out of the way. So I'm going to combine both these principles. I'm going to use my knees and my shoulders to slip my body. I'm going to use my upper body to help me, but also use my lower body to help guide me further, to punch or move my head more to the side quickly. At no point in time should I ever be doing this. Unless you're Muhammad Ali, that's not going to work out for you. So put your hands up, bend your knees and slip. Bend your knees, upper body, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. So we're using our knees, we're using our chest. Now, which way do we slip? So I'm going to throw a punch at the camera, and I want you to slip in the way that you think it is, and then I'm going to point in the direction that it was actually. So I'm going to throw a jab. Ready? Go. Shh. Which way do you slip? You slip that way. You always want to slip to the back, because if you do slip in, you slip the other direction, what is here waiting for you? Another punch. So if you slip towards their other hand, you're going to get rocked. So slip towards the back. Let's do a quick drill working on this. I'm going to put my hands up. I'm going to throw a punch. When I throw my front hand, slip, slip, and let me switch direction. So always slip towards my back. An instructor once told me if they had a sticker on their back, you should be able to see it, right? Here, here. So let's try it out. I'm going to throw a couple punches. Slip the best you can. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. Face me, at ease position. Now, what other punches did we throw? We threw a jab cross, but we threw another punch. A hook punch. Now, we can call a hook punch, it could be a haymaker. I call them monkey punches because, when monkeys are in cages, they throw these crazy powerful strings, and they are powerful. Now, a hook is a little bit more concise than a haymaker. However, a haymaker is very powerful. I'm not going to tell you that this punch isn't effective, because it is. If somebody were to throw their hands as hard as they can from the side and hit you in the face clearly, it's going to hurt. But there's one big problem with a haymaker. It's obvious that somebody's throwing it. It's easy for you to back away. You could legitimately just step away from that punch. Or, more precisely, if you can, bob and weaving, getting in closer is going to be easy. You can all tell it by the shoulder. As this shoulder comes back first, there's only one punch they can throw. I can no longer throw a straight punch from there. I have to curve it. Even if I try my best, it's going to come around still sideways, and I can still bob and weave that. So when the shoulder comes out, I have to throw this wide punch. Now when that happens, a slip doesn't work, but a bob and weave works well. Let's break down how we broke down the slip. Okay, I want you to avoid this punch coming in, this imaginary punch, by just using your knees. Go. Again, this is a bit slow. I may not be fast enough to avoid this punch. Now freeze, don't use your knees at all and just use your upper body. Now this is good, but I may not be able to get low enough or be able to clear the punch. So now I'm going to combine both. You're drawing the U with your forehead, and at no times do you leave your eyes from your opponent. You may see some people go like this that are a lot better than I am. But trust me when I say, don't set yourself in that position until you are that good, until you feel like you can. For right now, always keep your eyes on your opponent. It's going to help you be solid. So, hands up, bend your knees, bend your upper body and head, one way, two way. Try it out, do it all by yourself. Now, as you're doing this, imagine there is a basketball on each side over here, and you're gonna hit it up with your shoulder. This is gonna help you keep this hand here, which is gonna help you keep your guard. Because after your first punch, or after their first punch, they're gonna often wanna throw a second one in the same fashion. This hand's here, you're not fast enough, you could get hit. And freeze. Same drill as first, I'm gonna throw this punch at you. I have two punches, right? You know I'm throwing it by when my shoulder comes back. Always slip towards my back, always bob and weave towards my back. So when I'm coming this way, you want to bob and weave that way. If you go the same direction, I'm going to hit you. Ready? Go. Shh. 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 Face me, chariot, at ease. So there's one more thing we're gonna go over, and this is more for our purple, green, and blue belts out there. This is for our intermediate. At the beginner program, we often work on these slips and bob and weaves, because believe it or not, they're some of the harder ones to pull off. The next thing I'm gonna show you is probably gonna be the thing that you're gonna do the most. Especially when you're starting off into these scenarios, when you're in a Taekwondo sparring match, even a kickboxing sparring match. These are the things that you're going to be using the most, because slips and bob and weaves are hard to do. We show it to you at white, yellow, and orange belts so you can get a head start on it. You can start to work on it. That way, they become second nature when you reach our advanced ranks. Now this cover, this next thing, is no longer avoiding the punch, it's absorbing. Meaning that the punch is coming in, and I'm going to let it hit me, and I'm gonna make sure that it hits in a spot that doesn't hurt, and the weight of their punch goes into my body. So instead of it hitting and me getting knocked out, it just hits and bounces off. So, go into your guard, put your hands up. A cover, all it is raising your elbow. This elbow is gonna be most of your absorbs. This elbow is gonna help you guide where people are throwing or how to block. So when you see a punch coming in from this direction, if you raise your elbow and cover, you got it. Now you'll notice that I'm rotating my front foot. That's helping me absorb into this back leg. If I try to absorb into the front leg, it's not gonna work too well. Same thing on the other way. As my elbow lifts up, my heel lifts up. That's one way to do it. The other way is if you see it coming a little bit sooner than that, you can step into it and cover. Meaning that you're blocking the punch before it gets a lot of power. So, put your hands up, raise your elbow, raise your elbow. Do it a couple of times, all by yourself. Now, what's so great about this cover is your hands are already here. They're already up. Is this a fast thing to do? Yeah, it should be really fast. I know we're Taekwondo martial artists and we want to keep our hands down here, but when people are throwing punches, hands up, so you can cover quickly. Go back and forth at your own rate, and freeze. Now I'm gonna do the same drill. I'm gonna swing this hand, and all you gotta do is see that hand coming in, it's coming from this way, cover. Now I'm gonna go a lot faster with this. Covers work really, really well when you don't see it necessarily coming as soon as the bob and weave, right? You don't see the shoulder coming, they're throwing this hook, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm about to get punched, cover. This should be a second nature thing. Without thinking, you should cover that punch, or you should bob and weave it if you have time for it. Are you ready? I'm gonna throw faster, get ready to cover. hit, cover. Nice. Good job. Face me. Chariot. Kunye. Addy's position. That's our class today. I know it does not seem like much, but trust me, this is a great thing to practice as much as you can. I still struggle with these. Sometimes when somebody throws a punch, I don't naturally cover. Sometimes I have to actively think about it, and that's something that takes time and practice to work on. So if you thought this was easy, keep practicing it. Have a friend, have a family member, somebody you trust, throw some punches at you. Have them go slow, have them throw the jab, cross, keep their hands open, these hook punches, and see if you can actively avoid it. If they throw a punch and you're like, and you don't do something naturally, you don't avoid it, that means you need some more work on this. And as you do it, have them speed up, go faster and faster and faster. When you're full speed and you're ready, let me know. I'll do the drill with you too. Otherwise than that, thank you guys for being here today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Face me, chariot, kunye. Addy's position, what's our goal? Black belt excellence, sir. I will see you guys next time.